I'm going to answer one quick thing on education. And then let's get into how to talk to management about changing course. I shot a video earlier this week on education in Industry 4.0. I want to talk about this piece. I get a lot of messages from kids in high school. So like seniors in high school who are thinking about going into engineering, and then kids who are in college studying engineering, or they're thinking about switching. And I get all the same questions. How do I decide what to study? What are the best classes to take? Should I study industrial engineering, manufacturing, computer science? So I just want to give these answers real quick for any of the proposed students out there. Okay. Number one, graduating from high school is not an accomplishment unless you're mentally handicapped. Okay. Any idiot can graduate from high school, and idiots graduate from high school every day. Okay. It's not an accomplishment. This is exactly what I tell my kids. Do not pat yourself on the back for graduating from high school. Any idiot can graduate from high school. There are people who graduate from high school who can't read or write. Okay. High schools are created to pass everybody. Okay. And that's why you have such super high graduation rates. Okay. College is where you get your real education, but it's not nuts and bolts. Okay. College is where you go to figure out what you love. Okay. So when you start your education, don't start your education by picking a major, right? Start your education by taking one step into one classroom and figure out if you love what it is you learn there. And if you don't, move to another classroom until you find the thing you love. Okay. College is all about the first time you're ever going to develop real confidence. It's the first achievement you're ever going to, a kid's ever going to have, where they did it all by themselves for most kids. Okay. No one else is going to be able to take any credit for it. So they get confidence. You jump through a hoop. You show people that you can start and finish something. You learn critical thinking skills. You learn how to write critically. You can write memos. You can organize thoughts. Okay. But you can get the education you get in college, not going to college. You can get that. We don't care if you have a degree to come work here, but I'm going to ask you questions that are going to be able to demonstrate to me that you got the education you would have gotten in college. The biggest thing in college is figuring out what you love. That's the biggest thing about college. Figure out what you love. Okay. And here's why. Engineers are born. They are not educated. And this is a little known fact in our industry. And I shot this in this video I shot the other day. The two of the best engineers I've ever worked with. In fact, the two best engineers I've ever worked with in my entire life were both English majors. They went back to school and got degrees in engineering once they figured out engineering is where they belonged. Dave Schultz talked about this in the coffee thing yesterday. He said, I've always been a guy who tore apart things. I wanted to know how they worked. Every engineer has that in common. Like if you're a parent and you have a child who tears all their toys apart on Christmas morning because they want to know how that toy is built, how it works, you have an engineer on your hands, because that's one of the things we all have in common. Here's another thing we all have in common. We run into the fire when everyone else is running away. We run into the problem with a tool bag when everyone else is running away looking for someone to fix it. If you have a child like that, you got an engineer on your hands. Engineers are born. They are not educated. The education fine-tunes what they love. Okay. So education in Industry 4.0 is all about finding out what you love. Okay. What you love. And here's why. This is your life. This is my life. It's everything I do. Everybody who works here. This is our lives. This is our mission. This isn't a job. It's our life. And the future of work in the United States is centered around doing what we love and making it our life. All right. Hopefully that was valuable. All right. Yes.
You said you'll ask. And so what about me in my scenario? You said you can ask someone a question that would, because I never finished college. I only went 1 year of aerospace engineering, and then I went to like business finance, and then pretty much went full-time system integrator. How you said you would ask a question that would demonstrate they got the education that they would have gotten in college.
So I've talked about this before in the past, but what I really do is I ask people, tell me about a problem tell me about a time you snatched victory from the jaws of defeat. And then I just shut up. Okay. That and see if they understand what I mean. Like if you say, tell me about a time you snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, and you've never done that in your life, you don't even know what the question is you're being asked. Okay. So you ask that question and then you shut up and let people talk through what the problem was. It's the use case. It's the problem statement, right? It's the brainstorming. It's the solutions, right? And then it's the execution. You have them walk through that process. They're going to give you all the details on every bolt they selected, every turn, how much they torqued everything, every line of code, what they commented, the whole deal. Okay, that's what you do. You say, "Tell me about a time you snatched victory from the jaws of defeat." And through that answer, I'm going to find out whether or not you've gotten that education in the real world or not.
Excellent.